Hey, what's up guys, Flick here, and welcome back to another episode of the Liverpool Career Mode and the first official press conference for this career mode. But before we get into that, I want to give you guys a huge thank you for the support on episode 1. I didn't expect it to be received as well as it did. You guys left so many likes and so many comments. I think that might be one of my most commented videos out of all the ones I made during my time on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for the support, and let's keep it going into this episode. We'll be starting things off pretty simple for our first question, and the first question does come from Sami Khalid, and he asks what my aim is here at Liverpool. And I have very high expectations for this club. In the first season, I do want to fulfill the board's objectives, that is qualifying for the Champions League, as well as doing well in the Domestic Cup and winning the EuroLeague. I think we can achieve that with this kind of team and the transfers we've made. As for the next season, I want to also compete in the Champions League and eventually win the Barclays Premier League. If we can't do it this season, I definitely want to do it by season 2. Our next question comes from Greg, and I know he's a longtime supporter of West Ham United, so naturally, he inquired about Dimitri Payet joining this Liverpool side, and as big of a player as he was for West Ham, I'm not sure whether he's going to be the right fit here at Liverpool. We have a lot of attacking-minded players, and I think the first thing we need to focus on is our defense. So maybe in the future, but right now we're going to be focusing on our defense. Luke Orton asked about the future for Jordan Ibe now that we've brought in Marco Reus to that left side of our midfield, and I don't want to disregard Jordan Ibe completely. I definitely think he's going to be an important player coming off the bench, whether he ends up playing on the left or whether he's going to end up playing on the right. We might have to transition his role and readapt his role a little bit, but I still think he's going to prove to be an important player in the team. I'm investing in the training to make sure that ultimately he can become a starting 11 player. Luca Libot brought up the potential of bringing in one of England's most promising keepers, Jack Butland. And to that question, I do want to give Simone Mignolet a chance to prove himself as a starting keeper here at Liverpool. If he continues to perform like he did in that first match, I don't see any reason to bring in a new transfer. But if his performances don't do as well, then I will be looking to bring in another keeper and probably one with a higher rating. That's going to be all the press conference questions for today, and I'll probably be having the next press conference next week, and I'll have them on the weekend basis, so I don't want to have them every day and have the questions be about the same thing. So I'll probably have them next weekend for the next press conference. But one question I do want to pose to you guys: for those of you that have experience watching Liverpool or playing with them on career mode, are there any underused players that you would recommend for me to use in this team, whether that be coming off the bench or putting in our starting 11? Let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll try to be incorporating that into the next episode. With the press conference completed, I thought I would give you guys a forecast of the next month or so in the summer transfer window. And we have 4 Premier League matches to play. First match being against Stoke City. Then we're going to simulate a match against Bournemouth, play against Arsenal, and end off the episode with match against West Ham United. So against our former side, it should be a good test for us. But getting to the first bit of business, I thought we would check out Steven Gerrard. I received a comment on the last episode saying we should try to pick up his regen, and luckily he's retiring this year, so we can pick up his regen at the start of next season. And the second bit of news, the most common transfer suggestion, in my opinion, was Joel Matip. And I think that's a good suggestion from you guys. He's joining Liverpool in the future in real life, so why not add him in this career mode as we go out and disperse our first scout for his 3-month term. And I thought we might as well try to find some homegrown talent, looking for that physically strong player, which seems to bring back some good results, at least in my own experience. And now as we get into the negotiations for the transfer, I was starting off with a relatively low value. Wasn't expecting Schalke to accept that initially, but I kind of took the strategy of just incrementally increasing it until they reached a point where they were willing to accept the offer. Now you can see we're going to 9 million. And again, they seem set in stone on that 19 million. So we're just going to be continuing with the transfer offers. And I'm sorry if it is a little bit lengthy for you guys, but I was trying to pick them up for a good price. And I think you guys are going to be okay with that. Here we're offering 11 million, so rapidly approaching his market value. And once again, they do reject. So this time I was like, okay, I will offer you your market value, 12.5 million. And I thought for sure they would be accepting that one. As we get into a little bit of training, this time Divock as well as Gomez growing in their overall rating. And I hope to get Divock to the 80 rating, if not higher, by the end of the season. I think we can do that. That's a feasible objective. if we combine the training as well as his growth in game. But once again, Schalke did reject. Now he said 13.5 million, and that was going to be my last offer, whether they accepted it or not. So we will see if he does get added to the team after this match against Stoke City. So not necessarily an easy side, and it was away from home, so it was definitely going to be a difficult test for us. Here you can see two players that are being featured. They have Shaqiri, and we have Roberto Firmino, of course. Here's their starting 11, of course, Diouf up front, Bojan right behind him, Arnautovic and Shaqiri. It's a very strong front four, and I knew they would be a troublesome test for us. We had to make sure our defense was rock solid in the back, and Shaqiri creating the first opportunity of the game for Stoke City, playing it inside to Johnson. He is going to end up switching the play to Mbula, and now to Arnautovic. He has a go. Mignolet making a good save and trying to prove that he deserves a place in this team. I've received so many comments from you guys saying that we should sell Mignolet and try to bring in a new keeper, and it's just not what I want to do right now. I want to give him a chance and see whether he can earn his place in the starting 11. Halftime stats were in our favor relatively. We were barely winning the possession, creating an equal amount of chances, and we were looking to turn that around in the second half, get some more chances, and finally get a goal. Here's Roberto Firmino, good bit of dribbling, managing to cut around the Stoke City defense, and that one hitting the post. It was Alberto Moreno, not exactly the man who I wanted taking the shot, but we move on. Milner playing it forward to Divock. He's going to have a go from way out, and that one ending up in the back of the net. Huge result there by Divock, and I'm glad I subbed him on. And he seems to be one of the best players in the team right now. I've used him before in my West Ham save, and he was fantastic in that, and it seems to be the case again in this career mode. He just plays so well. His dribbling, his skill moves, and his finishing clearly are top notch. We're looking at another one. It's Coutinho just dribbling around the defense. His dribbling is just fantastic. Benteke shooting, and Butland making the save. Shaqiri able to clear, and Stoke City, we're looking to get that equalizer. Here Bojan just passing around. Mignolet is able to collect it, and we're looking to go on the counterattack here. Still trying to get that second goal, and it was a nice distribution by Mignolet. Coutinho sees the man on the right-hand side, and once again, it's Divock. He sees Benteke, the aerial threat, and for some reason he goes to volley, absolutely skies it, and I think he was offsides as well. So, interesting choice by Benteke. Needs to work on his finishing a little bit, but we did hang on for the 1-0 result, so getting our first points in the Premier League, which is just what we wanted going into this match. But I think we fully deserved this result because we completely dominated that second half, and I find myself slowly adjusting to this legendary difficulty, and it's not as bad as I thought it was. Really, I'm not seeing too much difference in terms of a lot of the game aspects compared to world class, maybe just the passing, but Jordan Ibe also growing in his rating through the training. He's now up to a 72 overall, so we can hopefully get him to the mid-70s by the end of the season. And Schalke have finally accepted our transfer offer, and now we have to get into the contract negotiations with Joel Matip, and hopefully it won't be as troublesome as the Royce confirmation, because that took a while. But he was similar to Royce in that he felt like he's a top player at his current club and didn't want to join Liverpool, so we had to give him some more money. I was going with 100 grand a week, so not as expensive as Royce, but I seem pretty set on that important first team player. I'm not sure whether he's going to be a crucial first team player because we've got a plentiful amount of center backs, and I'm going to base my starting 11 choices by how they perform in game. If someone's in good form, I'm going to be starting them. But as we get into the match against Bournemouth, we get a pretty comfortable lead, and we were able to hang on to that comfortable lead, ending up winning the match 4-0 despite Klein picking up a red card, so he's going to be out for our next game, and Flanagan's going to get a chance to prove himself. But once again, Matip declining the offer, so at this point I was like, alright, I'll give you the 100 grand a week, I'll give you the crucial first team player, so no reason for him to decline, and we'll see if he does confirm it this time around. And just a couple of other transfer offers coming in. Pretty big transfer sum from Valencia, but I did decline that one, and the contract offer was finally accepted for Matip, so he's going to be making his way into the starting 11. And I'll showcase him a little bit right here. You can see he's a very balanced center back, a good amount of strength on him, and he's relatively quick with some good dribbling as well and passing, so he's going to be able to distribute the ball from the back to our center midfielders. Medium work rates, so that's what you need in a center back. The only reason I wouldn't have liked him is if he had high attacking, but that's not the case, and I think he adds a lot to this team. A lot of characteristics that some of our other center backs are kind of lacking in. As we get our first monthly scouting update, no one that was super impressive, so we're just going to keep an eye on them and see whether they turn out to be good players as we get into our next match. And this match would be against Arsenal. A couple of big name transfers for both teams, Petr Cech for Arsenal as well as Joel Matip for us. And Verratti has also joined Arsenal in the center midfield, so he's not exactly the tallest of players, but he has a lot of good technical ability as well as passing ability, so we need to watch out for him and make sure that we can shut him down. He doesn't create too many chances. As we get into the first chance of the game, Roberto Firmino playing it forward. Sturridge is going to be able to find Coutinho, who has been very impressive in the early stages of this career mode. His dribbling is just top notch. Unfortunately, he was taken down, and that was the only chance of the first half. A lot of passing going on, but not a lot of chances created. As we move on now to the second half, it's Marco Reus. He's going to try to cut inside. He uses the Berba spin to cut around, finds Milner inside, goes with the finesse shot, Cech with the save, Verratti with the block, and Koscielny with the clearance. If Verratti wouldn't have gotten a piece of that, I think that would have been a goal. But we pushed on, trying to get some more chances. Roberto Firmino, some good link-up play, finding Divock. He's going to cut inside with ease around the Arsenal defense. Has that shot in the near post, but once again, Cech pulling off an incredible save. And he made so many of those saves throughout the match, and it was just nuts. And here Flanagan does a good job to win that header, able to find Sturridge. Now to Emre Can. Can finds Royce. Royce playing it inside once again, and it's Can. He's just going to walk by the Arsenal defense and tuck it into the corner. Wouldn't have thought it was Emre Can picking up the goal, but it was. He moved up the midfield. It was some nice 1-2 passing, and it was just a solid finish by Can with his right foot and getting it by Petr Cech. And here Monreal trying to find Walcott with the pace on the outside, looking to send this one in. And he's going to be able to try to play it inside, but Divock ends up clearing it, falls once again to Arsenal. It's Wilshere with the shot, and Matip with a huge block right there. He made so many of those defensive stops throughout this game, and I'm confident to say that he's going to be a first-team star for us throughout this season. But unfortunately, Theo Walcott ends up getting the tying goal for Arsenal in the 83rd minute. It's tough to concede those kind of goals, especially when you're playing defensive. But we're trying to get a goal back here as Royce looking to get by the Arsenal defense. He was just doing it himself, and I thought we might as well test out his dribbling ability. And he was a one-man show on this run. He ended up trying to finesse it on the near post, but Cech with another good save. Falls once again to Royce. He's going to play it back outside to Flanagan. Flanagan seeing man in the middle. It's Emre Can, who's already picked up a goal, but now he's going to find Henderson. Henderson with the shot, and Cech again with the save. It's out for a corner kick, and Cech kept Arsenal in this game. He made so many of those kind of saves, but now Royce sending in the cross. He went out, and Can was able to put it back in the net. Petr Cech probably shouldn't have went out on that one. If he just would have stayed put, I think it would have been an easy save for him. But we end up getting the win, so there's no complaining there. We deserve the win as well. 8 shots, 5 on target. And I'm also switching up some of the kit numbers. I ended up giving Matip the number 32, Royce the number 21, and Leva the number 5, just to sort out a couple of our players. As again, we get into the train this time, Danny Ings going up to a 77 overall rating. He's the kind of guy that I want to get more involved in the team, whether that's through the first team or potentially through the substitutions. Also looking to add a little bit more transfer budget and selling off players that I don't think I'll use. Jose Enrique, I don't think I'll be using him in this career mode. Let's be honest, he's 73 rated. He's getting up there in age, and I think he is past his prime. So I'm going to try to move him off to another club, and it may be Norwich. We'll see as we get into our final match of the episode. This one being against West Ham, the former side. They're playing 5 at the back, so some difficult changes here. But the first opportunity went our ways. We get a bit of careful build-up. Roberto Firmino able to find Benteke inside, and a lucky turn of events ends up to Benteke finishing that one. He's not going to miss from there, but we got very lucky for that to fall to us. But regardless, it was 1-0 for us, and that changes the momentum in this game. We were able to really dictate the possession and kept the ball really in West Ham's half throughout this first half. And here, a chance for Alberto Moreno. There weren't too many highlights in this game, but we were very solid defensively. West Ham wasn't really pressuring us, and we made a couple substitutions. Divock again making an appearance, and he's pretty much making an appearance in every single game because he makes an impact every single match. That was a slight deflection by Skirtle, And that was a big deflection because if he didn't get a piece of it, I think that would have been finished in the back of the net. But we're still able to hang on 1-0 as we get another opportunity. Ings played it out wide to Divock on that right wing. He goes with the finesse shot, took a slight deflection, but luckily it fell to Coutinho, and it was the simplest of finishes. Just a pass into the back of the net, and we were able to hang on for that 2-0 win. So again, we're taking Legendary by storm, winning all our matches, and gradually scoring more and more goals. This time we scored 2 goals, and we're also holding clean sheets. So whatever it is we're doing, I'm going to try to keep it going into future episodes. As you can see by the stats, we were very clinical with our chances. Not exactly holding on to possession, but you know, when we're getting chances, we're getting goals. So we're going to try to keep that going as Norwich counters with our counter offer with 1.4 million. I just ended up accepting that so we get a little bit more transfer budget. And some of the top deals during the transfer window: Pogba on his way to Bayern Munich, Muller on his way to Manchester City, and of course Royce coming on over to Anfield. And just a look ahead at future episodes, we've got Manchester United in the Premier League, and we'll also be getting into some European action. And that's going to wrap up the episode for today's, guys. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. And until next time, this has been Flick. I'll be talking to you guys again soon.